Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about candles and it's part of my top 5 video series where I feature my 5 different brands or types of items that have really served me well, that I feel like are amazing quality for the price and are my ultimate holy grail favorites. So I'm going to start off with my overall top candle brand. It's the one that I repurchased from the most and that I'm the most impressed with when it comes to quality, scent, durability, style, everything. I have to say I do have expensive taste when it comes to candles. I really think of them as home decor. There's something that's very seasonal for me as well. I don't tend to burn a lot during the summer. But during the fall, winter, and early spring, I am a candle addict. So this video is really aimed at those who are also pretty obsessed with candles. I hope that you find it useful, and let's get right into it. So my overall winner, no surprise, is Nest. So did you know that Nest is actually a shortening of the word finest? It was launched by Laura Slotkin and every single scent from the line is amazing. I'm very picky, so usually there would be at least a couple that I hate. However, that's definitely not the case with this line. My overall favorite of the year, probably that I would say is the most inoffensive one that I burn without thinking, whether we're eating, hanging out, whatever the weather is like, is apricot tea. So good. It has a little bit of woodsiness, a little bit of sweetness. It's an absolute crowd pleaser, and it would be my pick from the line to give as a gift for someone when you don't really know what they like. In candles, the other one that would be good for that would be the vanilla almond orchid one as well. I will link all of the candles that I mentioned in the info bar down below. Every single year I go nuts for the Nest holiday candles. So they're now out online but not in stores yet, so I haven't gotten my hands on any quite yet. But they have the most amazing Christmas tree scent called Birchwood that you have to have, especially if you're into fake Christmas trees, because it smells like the real thing. If you're a pumpkin person, the pumpkin chai one is really good as well. I've already gone through one of those. It's very heavy on the pumpkin, however. And then two of my favorites that I have backups of here, because this is really the candle that I burn every day when we have dinner parties. When I feel like burning a candle, this is what I reach for, is the Nest candles, because they burn so incredibly cleanly. So you can see exhibit A here. It's kind of like 1/3 burnt over quite a while, and there's no smoke whatsoever. And I'm not even that obsessive about trimming my wick super short, but it still produces no smoke at all. And the scent of them is just very clean. It's very elegant. I just love these so much. I think the whole line is incredibly tasteful. Packaging wise, I like how subtle it is actually. Sicilian Tangerine is a more warm weather favorite of mine. So as I was kind of transitioning out of the summer, I burned this one a lot. Gave the grapefruit one to my mom. She loved it. It's so great. Even the fruity ones that I normally wouldn't go for too much of a citrus candle are amazing. And if you like a fall spicy scent, but you don't want something that's too fruity, like the pumpkin chai, then I really highly recommend that you check out Sahara Spice. I'm going to smell it right now to remind myself. So it says creamy sandalwood and a touch of ginger are wrapped in the warmth of Madagascar vanilla bean. I have to say, to me, it's more of like a spicy cinnamon clove kind of scent overall, but it's not too sweet, it's not too fruity, and it's woodsy but not too woodsy. So it's really well balanced, just like all of the other candles from the Nest line are. And I also think if you're up for spending a little bit more on a candle, the price point is really great. So it retails for $40 US, a little bit more in Canada, of course, but compared to lots of the other lines that I'm about to discuss, it is a little bit cheaper for more of a high-end candle. And I just think they make the most fantastic gifts for yourself and for others. So going from least expensive to most expensive, My little known insider secret that I've discovered is this HomeSense available candle brand. It doesn't belong to HomeSense, I don't think, but it's widely carried at HomeSense, and it's also carried at Amazon as well. It might be a few dollars more expensive, but I think it's worth it for the convenience and selection that's available on Amazon, because my HomeSense is often sold out of these, so I'm always going in there and looking for them because the quality is so amazing. This brand, which I've spoken about before, but I feel like I really need to wax lyrical about it today because it's such amazing value. These candles retail, depending on the size, between $10 and $15. It's a DW Home line, and this is the Honey Pumpkin. It's the most recent one that I've purchased. I've been burning it quite a lot, and what I like about these is how cleanly they burn. Again, you can see there's no smoke to speak of around the rim. Here's one that I've burned more as well. Again, you can see no smoke to speak of. And the scent of them is still very elegant. They are a little bit on the sweeter or woodsier side usually, especially for the fall themed scents that they produce. What I like about them is I can burn several of these at once, have them burning during a dinner party, and it is a little bit more subtle than the other higher end candles that I tend to purchase. And I actually like that because sometimes if you're eating dinner, you don't want to smell pumpkin chai while you're having your main course, you know? So in any case, I find these to just be overall really excellent quality. The Honey Pumpkin is wonderful. I think this one is still available. Last year, I still got some of this one left over. It's the Spiced Pumpkin in Amber. And I find if you have a man in your life, they make some really great scents that are somehow appealing to guys. I think because they're not too overpowering. So Joe really loves this one. It's the Green Cardamom from the Noir collection, and the packaging itself is a little bit more masculine as well. So those would make fantastic, affordable Christmas gifts, I have to say. It's a line that I keep going back to when I just want a cheap thrill without having a cheap scent in my home. Something that I do go for every year, and I have to say I'm not so much of a Bath & Body Works fan anymore. I used to be. I really have grown out of my Bath & Body Works and Lush addiction over the years. This is one that I go in and I buy every single year. So it's part of the White Barn line, I think. And it's the Pumpkin Pecan Waffles from Bath & Body Works. I have to say, this one is the best bakery scent, and no one does bakery scents like Bath & Body Works. I think that's their thing. That's really what I go there for, and this one is really beautifully balanced because you get the spice of the pumpkin and some sweetness, like a fruity sweetness, but you get that carby scent as well and that nuttiness from the pecan. So it's really an interesting scent as well as being very sweet. You tend to gravitate towards the donut or cupcake scents that they produce. I think this one is like those, but better, and every year I try and nab a few because last year they actually sold out, although I'm told by some of you on Instagram that the stores are well stocked and ready for that this year. Back into the luxury territory, I did get a sampler set during the Nordstrom anniversary sale for the Diptyque Candle line. It had Bay in it, it had the Rose one in it, just a really great sampler set. I know so many bloggers are really into Bay. I can't seem to really get behind it because all I can think of when I smell that is the Club Monaco store. And I'm a huge Club Monaco shopper, but I don't know that I really want my home to smell like the store. So instead, I really had two other favorites from the line. And one of them really surprised me. It's a tuberose. So I didn't really actually know what this was, but I did a little bit of research on it. It's actually a Mexican herb. It's the world's most expensive perfume ingredient, apparently, or one of them, and it just smells so good. This is a woodsy, very sensual floral. If you don't like florals normally, but you'd like to try something that's very luxuriously floral, then I highly recommend this one. I do think it's probably the standout scent from the line, in my opinion, for being unique and just being very luxurious. There's something about this that smells very sensual and expensive. Of course, it is expensive. Diptyque is quite an expensive candle line, but you do get the amazing styling and packaging, and I do think it's wonderful. It's around the same price point, I believe, as Jo Malone, and between the two, I have to say, I do think Diptyque is better. I also think the next brand that I'm going to mention, which is a little bit more expensive, is also better, and I've tried several of the Jo Malones. They just don't really make the cut for this list for me. And then the other that was my favorite, I actually have purchased as a gift before for a friend. This is a perfect candle for those of you who like something that smells like a campfire, but more elegant, with a little bit of tobacco, layered woods, that slightly smoky kind of afterthought to it. It's very, very nice, I have to say. It's not one that I would burn for hours and hours because, like all the other candles from Diptyque, it is very, very strong. I actually love the size of these little candles. I think that set was amazing. It really did a lot for me. I tried all of them and I got to really make up my mind as to which was my favorite, and I have to say it did kind of make me jump on the Diptyque bandwagon. These are my two favorites. I think they each kind of offer something nice and different from each other as well. So you have a sensual floral and a cozy, woodsy, smoky scent. Finally, my ultimate splurge candle is Carousel from Byredo. So this scent is one that I went back to smell over and over at Nordstrom, and there's something really exceptionally luxurious about it. It does remind me a little bit of the fig scent from Jo Malone, but it's so much more complex. It has notes of figs, notes of rhubarb, notes of amber, and then really what hooked me on it is the notes of cardamom. Despite all of those kind of sweeter elements, it's not really sweet at all. It's super sophisticated. There's something about the formulation of the Byredo candles that is so extremely wonderful, because even without lighting this candle, and I have it on our sideboard by the entrance, I've always had it there since we've moved in. I've only lit this a couple of times because I'm saving it, but nonetheless, this is what our home smells like when you walk in. Not everywhere in the apartment, just without even lighting it, towards the entrance of the apartment, I catch a whiff of it. With the wind coming in from the windows whenever I walk in. And so this has become, I guess, our signature home scent, almost by accident. And as soon as it gets dusty, I give it a little wipe. I might burn it for a little bit and I put it out, and again it refreshes it. So it's almost like buying one of these also creates a kind of home scent even without having a candle lit. And I think the whole aesthetic of Byredo is so classy and minimalist and wonderful. It really adds a nice modern element to more traditional decor. I love the black wax, I love the jar, the type font, everything is wonderful about it. I am pretty much on the verge of jumping onto the Byredo bandwagon. I've gone back to smell the candles from this line over and over. I'm contemplating a second purchase for another candle from the line, and I would say my second favorite, I believe, is Bibliothèque. And I'm also contemplating Treehouse, which is a Taylor Swift scent, but it's very, very woodsy. If you like Feu de Bois, then you'll probably also like Treehouse, but I'm sort of starting to wrap my mind around that as we get into the colder months because it is very, very woodsy. That actually completes my candle favorites. Now, as a bonus, just because I figure if you're watching this video, you're probably really into perfume as well. I know I am. If you like candles, you probably like fragrance too. So I'm gonna mention the perfume that I'm wearing currently and have been wearing since I've switched into full-on fall mode, and it is Book. Now, this is from the line Commodity, which is very similar to Byredo in terms of aesthetic, I think. Fantastic line overall. My other favorite from the line is Moss, but Book has to be one of my all-time favorite perfumes. I purchased this last year and I've just loved it so much. You wouldn't think from the amount that's missing, but it's just a big bottle. It lasts a long time. And this smells like a luxurious library with afternoon tea served in it. So it actually does have notes of paper, and it does smell like a book. If you're a reader, then you'll know what I mean. It's got notes of cucumber and it's got notes of tea in it as well. So it really does smell wonderful and unique, and it's very nostalgic to me because I love afternoon tea. And the cucumber in it really elevates the scent quite a lot. Smelled Le Labo's tea fragrance, and I have to say I think this one is better because it's a lot more complex. If any of you are Le Labo fans, however, I'm very interested in trying that line and discovering it because I know it's supposed to be amazing. I just don't really know what to try. So please let me know in the comments down below what your favorites are, irrespective, but also specifically for Le Labo. And this video I think is timed quite well because on the 20th it's about to be the Nordstrom Triple Points event, and if you have the visa like I do, it's actually sextuple points. So I'm very excited for that. I have a few things in my sights that I will let you know about when I buy them. But one thing that I'm pretty sure to buy is the black saffron from Byredo. It's very expensive, and I think that's going to be my kind of Christmas winter fragrance. Once I've worn this every single day for the fall, I'll probably want a bit of a break from it. And black saffron is extremely rich, but it's not so overpowering that I couldn't get away with it sprayed lightly in the office. I think it would be fine. So Byredo is just such an interesting line, and I'm just sort of beginning to educate myself about it. It was founded by a retired basketball player. He's just a really interesting person. He grew up in Sweden, but he's partly Canadian, and the whole aesthetic of the line is just absolute genius. This particular scent, black saffron, has notes of berries and vetiver in it, as well as a saffron that really makes it pop and just makes it so just kind of gourmand without being overly sweet or anything like that. It's just very sensual and wonderful, but it has enough crispness to it that you can get away with it in daytime, in my opinion. It's not too heavy, not too woodsy. So I really like that scent. I've gotten my final sample of it. This is not my first sample, by the way. If you're interested in trying more expensive fragrances, something I do is I always go and ask for samples to see how they will sort of melt into my skin and last. So that's on my shopping list, and I thought I would let you know about it. Another little tip as well that pertains to the candle line of Byredo is I've heard through the online grapevine that the founder of Byredo has concluded an agreement with IKEA to do a collaboration for a candle in 2019, I believe, so it's not going to be for forever. So I thought that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed kind of learning about all these different brands so that I know a little bit more about what I'm buying and ultimately what I'm going to be addicted to, because I keep going back for more and more and more, and I could do a stack like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but I won't because I don't want to break my candles. So I hope you've enjoyed this very cozy fall-esque video. It's sort of the archetype of fall, isn't it, to talk about all these different very warm, wonderful scents. As I said, please let me know your favorites down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to hear about my next installment on style, then make sure you give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!